Hello everyone, welcome to Brecknackbricks, the show where I review bricks of every shape, size, and brand. This video will be covering set 75639, or better known as the Going Merry from the TV series One Piece, based on the anime, which is based on the manga written by Ichiro Oda. I apologize if I said that incorrectly. This set comes with 1,376 pieces, comes with 5 minifigures, making out the whole original crew at the start of the series. And let's turn these Danish bricks into an icon of a pirate franchise. Now let's take a look at the minifigures. Let's start here with Zoro, the Master Swordsman. He sports plain black pants, but a pretty well detailed body, including dual molded arm pieces. The most unique feature of Zoro has to be his third sword, that is using this clip piece to connect to the neck or lower part of the head to allow Zoro to go full battle mode here. With his 2 swords, his unique bandana, you think he's ready, but with the third sword, he's finally ready to have his rematch with Dracul Mihawk. Here we have probably the most basic minifigure of the group, Sanji, sporting an all-black suit and tie ensemble, a fork and pretzel in his hands ready for his snack. A hairpiece I don't believe is unique to the set. Like the others, he also sports 2 faces, both as being just snarky smiles with one showing his teeth and one not. Here is the mechanic slash sniper of the crew, Yusa, sporting bandana hair. His face shows his snarky to being downright terrified. He sports a yellow Indiana Jones saddlebag in his green slingshot. Nami, being the only female member of the crew at the start of the series, has her blue and white striped sailor shirt with short sleeves represented as dual molded arms, orange skirt, and shoes to top it off. Her hairpiece is brand new, and she also has 2 faces, one being content with whatever the situation was, and one of her being upset. And to top it off, she has her staff that she stole from Donatello. And of course, we can't forget about the captain himself, Luffy. Monkey D. Luffy, the leader of the Straw Hat Pirates, is really well represented. Pretty much follows his design pretty well into the form of a minifig. His straw hat is present, including the much loved feature for LEGO fans of having hair included in hat pieces. A closer look at his face reveals that he has his scar, which he did not earn. Turning it back, he has his iconic happy smile, sleeveless shirt, his torn up jean pants, and even includes his sandals, which is a pretty well, and while they do not go all around, it's still nonetheless nice they included it. Arms are bare, and I feel as though the arms don't perfectly match his face and body, but overall, these are just a nitpick, and I think LEGO did a really good job transferring him into a minifigure. But now that we're done with the minifigs, why don't we take it the main set itself. The Caravel class ship measures 50 studs long and 14 studs at its widest, offering plenty of space for a 5-person crew. When it came to building the set, I actually had fun putting it together and had little issue doing so. It is fairly light but well put together, and some oddities in its design. That it uses regular pieces to help build out the body of the ship instead of relying on large specialty pieces seen in previous ships. The 2 pieces you see here are being examples of previous LEGO pirate and sailing ships, the brown one being used in the Imperial sailing ship released back in 2010, and this one being used for the Black Pearl released in 2011. Now, whether this was done to allow for more freedom in the shaping of the design, or more to the show, increase the price, increase the piece count in order to increase the price, or maybe they wanted to retire the pieces for something different, is unknown, but I do not mind it as it allows the ship to look more accurate to how it is portrayed in the TV and in animation. The other big oddity I noticed with the ship is its noticeably flat lower part, and the lack of a certain piece that is key to most sets of this type. That being a piece known as the 2x2 plated rounded bottom. These pieces are featured on the bottom of spaceships and boats for 2 reasons. One is to allow it to move across varying surfaces better, and 2 is to avoid scraping up certain materials like wood or other. This Creator Series boat from a couple years back being a great example. Starting with the bow, we have the one and only cannon featured in the set, which is in the form of a stud shooter that can be activated from the top of the bow. Minifigures can also be placed up here and to recreate iconic scenes from your favorite boat-themed movies. At the top, we have the ram headpiece, and if you're familiar with the series, you know the headpiece is a key element in picking out the ship, and put forth by its captain. Here though, it's mixed in my opinion. While the ram design is superb, it is not a well-connected piece, and is only being held together by a 2x1 piece, which leads to it falling off a lot at the slightest touch. Couple this with the fact that a minifigure can be attached to it, makes it fall off a great many times. Might have to even use the craggle to hold it together, but enough of that controversy. Let's move on to the upper deck. By lifting this 10x6 piece, you can get a closer look at some beverages left on the deck, and a treasure chest containing a croissant, sausage, and a bone, looking as though Luffy already snacked on some of his treats. Below deck we have the first room, which belongs to Zoro, where an unmade bed is featured, where candles are featured at the top of the room, some windows and ropes represented with stickers, and 2 1x1 U-clips by the doorway to allow Zoro to keep 2 of his 3 katanas available to use. There's also a staircase that leads up to the middle deck. Here you will find the main mast, sporting the icon of the entire One Piece series, the Jolly Roger with the straw hat atop, well represented in Lego form, and noticeably a different material for sails rather than the cotton-based ones used in older sets. This sail utilizes a thick matte finished plastic, which Lego finds to be more adaptable and keep its shape over time. Rigging is featured, of course, using pieces often seen in rope bridges, and is connected below the deck. Being that this is a pirate ship, hidden compartments are a must, and the Going Merry is no different, although its treasures seem to be a bit different from your standard affair. By lifting this 4x8 flat piece, it reveals the compartment, what reveals to be the crew or possibly just Luffy's food stash, where he can access his hot dogs, bananas, carrots, and radioactive egg. The real item here to look for is the wanted posters. As part of the One Piece series, each set will include a different number of randomly placed wanted posters of characters seen in the series. Here you can see a couple I've gotten. From what I understand, the pieces are random, and it is likely you will get doubles, but from the set I got no doubles, though yours will differ. It is an identical system to what they'd used in the Harry Potter series. There are 8 wanted posters total, and no set poster is included in any set, meaning you could technically collect all 8 by buying 8 of the Windmill Village Hut set. Of course, it's not a guarantee, but it's possible. We make our way to the stern of the ship, which is predominantly Nami's domain. We start out with the triangular sail in the back, which is red and white striped, made of the same material as the main sail and the flags up top. No crow nest here though. Instead of a wheel, we have a stick that steers the rudder through it. At the very back of the ship we have 2 of what I thought were bushes, but are actually mikan trees. These trees play a prominent role in Nami's backstory and through the entire series, and are a fit addition for the ship if it wasn't already brimming with character. With the use of rails, the compartment can be pulled out to reveal several knickknacks and treasures Nami keeps a hold of. Everything from her treasure bag, some perfume, silverware, and a bucket. Unfortunately, this area cannot be accessed by minifigures, but nonetheless it is nice to see it included, and is done through the effort of 4 2x4 hinges. That's not all the stern has to offer though. As we move on to the very back, by removing and lifting up the upper deck, we reveal the piece de resistance of the ship, the massive kitchen, including a sink, drawers, pot, pan, spices, bottles, pizza, and plenty of spices and drawers. This area belongs to the wannabe chef Sanji, where he can enjoy his eggs in peace until Luffy comes in and demands for more food. Once you're all done in the kitchen, the upper deck and steering platform are easily reattached without using any studs or Technic pieces to hold them together, just rails and clever use of 2x1 plates with handles on them to hold everything together. Now that we have covered the ship from head to toe, it's time to determine whether it's worthy of putting on your shelf or not. Currently in the US, the ship retails for $139.99. And when you couple this with it being based on a live-action adaptation of an animated series based on a manga, along with custom sails, new swords, and hair pieces for this series, it is in my opinion definitely a fair price, even if you're not a fan of the series, as it's just another great sailing ship among a line of the other ships that have joined the LEGO series. And despite the loose pieces, it is by all means a great addition to your shelf and even a great playset. Of course, that is all just my opinion. If you have, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments below, and I appreciate you watching. Also, I went out of my way and made my own custom minifig to join the crew, even if he's a little early. What do you think? And judging by Luffy's face here, he can tell the set's gonna be a big hit.